All right. I wasn't very sure whether I wanted to upload this video. Uh, this is something that happened a few hours ago, and I after the incident took place, I've not been able to sleep the whole night. I was tossing, turning. You can make out from my face and my eyes. I was tossing and turning, and finally I got fed up. I decided to finally go for a shower, and I said, okay, I'll make this video. So, and one more thing is, if you see me looking at the monitor, it's because I've carefully written down the notes. I have to be very careful what I say. Okay. Like always, I'll not be giving you specific details. Okay. A girl, a very young girl whom I know. She is, I don't know her exact age. She is almost like a late teenager, like you could say 20 years old or whatever. She got stabbed to death just a few hours ago. All right, and now the first shocking bit is, this is a girl who I know. Know in the sense I've always, whenever I've gone to the mall, she sells particular items there. So my daughter and my wife, whenever they accompany me, I always made a point to stop at certain stalls or certain, where they book the space in a shopping mall. So it's to always stop there. It's to always buy. She used to sell snacks and chocolates and, all these sweets and all that, mix and match. So how I bumped into her the first time was when my wife and my baby were in Ubon, in the village. And I saw this new stall. They had just opened it. And she was a very, very, very beautiful girl. And you can clearly make out she had contact lenses, making her eyes like, blue or, brightly colored, and eyelashes, and a very presentable girl, a very beautiful girl, and very young. And she spoke very good English. And when I was passing by, she greeted me and said, "Sir, would you like to try?" And very courteous. And she even offered me, "So you can try as a free sample." For a Thai girl to be so fluent in terms of English, it clearly showed she was very intelligent, very courteous, and I immediately got a liking towards her. And but given the fact that I was not very much into eating those mix and match chocolates, jelly beans, and all that, so what I did is I immediately called my daughter on the phone. My wife picked up, and then I said, "Give it to the baby." And then I showed the baby the chocolates, and the baby was busy choosing. And because I purchased a big sum, like normally people buy only 100 grams, I decided to buy 1 kilo or different sweets. She gave a lot of complimentary sweets. So that was the first interaction. And my baby was very happy. My wife was like, "Oh, you're spoiling the baby." And my wife spoke to her and said, "Thank you very much." And so it was very nice. And after that, whenever we used to pass by, I used to always stop there. Then when my daughter came down and when my wife came down, then I finally introduced them face to face. And they were very happy. And once again, she gave a few sweets and chocolates to my daughter. She didn't have to. So it was always good memories. And I used to always tell my wife, "See, one day I want our daughter to be like her. She's so presentable. She's so courteous. She's so, customer focused. Like, she had that street smart. She had that business potential." And what happened was, today is Monday. On Sunday, that is yesterday, I decided to go just shopping. I was feeling really tired and lethargic. I had quite a number of customers. So I told my wife, I'm just going for shopping. She said, you want to take the daughter? I said, no, I'll just go by myself, because I was not in a very good frame of mind. And I had gone. It takes around 45 minutes for me to go. First is Macro, which is the wholesale where they sell fruits and vegetables. It's like a massive hypermarket. And maybe 500 meters ahead is the Tesco shopping mall, where this girl was there. So after I finished going to Tesco, I purchased oranges and I purchased things for the house for myself. I love oranges, the Valencia oranges. Then I wanted to buy dal. I don't know if you know dal, or white. I don't know. You call it lentil, like lentil, like dal or lentil soup. I think you call it. I like to eat that with the rice. It kind of reminds me of home. So I went to get that. The particular brand was not available in Macro, so I decided I'll go to Tesco and check there. So I went to the market, Tesco supermarket, and I I generally go and take one round. There is KFC, there is Swenson, which is like Baskin Robbins, and then there is donut shops, So I thought I'll take one round over there and just see if there's any special offer or promotion, so I can buy my daughter something or my wife. But somehow I decided, nah, I'll not go. Okay. And after I finished, I went back to my scooter and I came back home. I was kind of tired, and I decided to take a nap after I came back home. My wife helped me with the heavy bags of shopping and all that. So I came and went to sleep for half an hour. When I woke up, I was having, just chapatis and chicken, which I had purchased, old leftovers. And then my wife, by the time I was eating, my wife decided to put my daughter to sleep, because tomorrow's school, that is today's school. And my wife goes to sleep. And to my surprise, after I finished eating food, when I was going to the kitchen, my wife said, did you go to the shopping mall today? I said, yeah, I went to the shopping mall. And I was kind of surprised, like, why are you awake? It's 10 o'clock or so. You're supposed to sleep, because she sleeps by 8. She said, did you go to the shopping mall again? She was asking me. So I was like, yeah, I went to the shopping mall. What happened? Because she was like half asleep and she was still showing the phone. She said, did you see this? So she showed me the photograph of this girl, the same girl, with a very good looking boy. Very, very good looking boy. And I said, hey, this girl, where did I see her? I was trying to read. She said, this is the girl who you introduced, the sweets. And I said, okay. I said, what happened? She said, she got murdered. I was like, when did this happen? She said, it happened when you were, at that mall. And so she asked me, what time did you go there? So I kind of gave her the time. I said, I think I was at 6, 7 or like that, that time. I can't remember exactly what time. She said, yeah, that was when the murder took place. And I said, I was completely in a state of shock. Because here is a girl who, I've spoken to, I've talked to her, and, you talk to, it's like you meet someone and you talk to them, and after a few days you're told that someone killed her. And I was like, what? Like, it didn't make sense. And then she said, there is a video of her being killed. I said, from where is the video? Every shop, every outlet has its own security camera, including the shopping mall. It has its own security camera. And this camera was apparently placed where she was. Okay, this camera was placed where she was, and it completely showed frame by frame, exactly what happened. And I'll not go into the gruesome this thing, but this guy just comes, young boy, young boy. He's also like a teenager, young boy. He's holding a very large knife, and he goes up to her, grabs her, and starts stabbing her. And what made it horrible was she was wearing a white shirt. She always used to wear a white shirt. And he went on and on. He didn't stop stabbing her. And people were all standing there and looking, and because she was screaming and all that. And before you know it, there was a complete pool of, she was covered in blood. And he didn't stop until I think she stopped responding. And then he stood there. And then 2 or 3 guys came there. And then one man, I don't know if he was an undercover cop or something in the mall. He said, come. And he just surrendered. Like they took the knife away from him, and 2 guys held him, or 1 guy held him. Then he was made to stand at the side with 2 guys standing there. And I was stunned. I was just stunned when I saw that. I was like, oh goodness. I couldn't believe what I saw. And this was uploaded on Facebook. I'm pretty sure it'll be taken down. And I did share it with the 2 or 3 of my groups. I shared that link. And everyone was shocked. Everybody was shocked. You can imagine if someone doesn't know the girl, how shocked they are. And I didn't know her personally, but I knew her. Now I'll tell you what is going through my mind. I'll tell you what is going. Initially when they asked, so why don't you make a video? I said, I'm not going to make a video. Are you crazy? I'm not going to do that. But then I was tossing and turning the whole bloody night, and so many thoughts came to my mind, and that is why I wanted to make this video. The first thing that came to my mind is, this is a young girl. This is someone's daughter. I viewed her, I looked at her as my own daughter. Whenever I was to pass by, I used to tell my wife, like, one day our daughter will become like this. I want her to become like this. Just imagine what must be going through the father and mother's minds and hearts to see their daughter so brutally murdered. She's just a teenager, man. And that was one. The second thing that went through my mind is, just imagine that she had this boyfriend for, because, she was attracted to him, or puppy love, or whatever you call it. When you're young, you have the attraction. And just, I'm speculating, just because maybe things didn't work out well, that this was the response that guy decided. Maybe they broke up, or maybe she didn't want to continue the relationship, or break up and go with another guy. This was how he chose to respond. And that boy, he's a very good-looking young man. He's a very smart-looking young man. I was really thinking about, just think, he must be 17, 18 years old. And now because of this murder, he will be spending close to 35 years, or maybe full life in prison. And if you're not aware, just Google search Thailand prisons. They are some of the most brutal places on the planet. You're talking about, in a room where 10 people can sleep, only 10 people on the floor, they will put 30 or 40 people. Just 10 people can sleep with gap. They'll put 40. So one guy's foot will be here when you're sleeping. Another guy will be like spooned next to you. And they don't give them time to have bath in some of the prisons. And the toilet is just open. Like, you have to poop right in front. There's no TV. There's no video. There's no news. There's no smartphone. There's no internet. There's no clock. You're just there day and night. And all the horrific things you can imagine that takes place in a prison takes place there. This young boy, who may be a college student, who may be a high school boy, he's going to spend 30 to 40 years of his life for this one incident. Just imagine, you and I, we have had incidents in our life where we have had fights, or we have had disagreements, or we liked someone, and girlfriend or something, and we broke up. At that time we must have been very intense and a lot of emotions, but over a period of time you look back and you laugh and you think, ah, I was so silly. Like, even I look back at most of the affairs or relationships where I thought I would die, or even that girl who I tattooed on my chest, who I thought I couldn't live without, at the age of 31. It took me 6 years to get out of depression, but today, in hindsight, and 47, I look back as a memory. It took me one to 2 years to get out of the painful phase, 6 years to get out of depression. But now imagine this boy, where maybe he broke up with her, or maybe he had a fight or an argument. In 1 month or 3 months or 6 months, say 1 year. In 1 year, he will be looking back and saying to himself, I overreacted. I shouldn't have been so angry. But now he has committed this crime. He has killed a girl. He has killed that girl. He can't undo this. I'm very sure he's going to regret this. And now, if he regrets after 1 year, that doesn't mean he's going to be forgiven. He will have his whole life behind bars. Another 30 years, or maybe 39 years, or 29 years more. Just imagine that he's going to be a 30-year-old man, 40-year-old man, 50-year-old man, 60-year-old man, looking back at the day when he was 20 years old and what he did. This movie Shawshank Redemption, when Morgan Freeman is being evaluated every few years by a jailer. Have you reformed yourself? Have you improved? And every time he used to go and say, yeah, I've changed, I regret. And finally, he gets so fed up towards the last scene, like every 5 years or every 10 years. Now he's an old man, and this jailer, who is a psychologist, who keeps asking the question, have you reformed? Have you regretted your actions? So before, he used to keep saying, yeah, I regret, because he wanted to be forgiven, pardoned, and let go. Finally, now he is almost like 60, 70, or 80 years old. And this 20-year-old jailer is asking, so have you reformed? And he's just And, it's a very powerful moment where he looks at the jailer and says, have you reformed? He say, I look back on my life, and not a single day goes by where I wish I could go back in time and tell that young man, that younger version of me, son, don't, it's not worth it. You're going to spend the next 40, 50 years of your life. It's not worth it. And he said, I put some sense into that man, that young man, and tell him not to destroy his life. And then finally, in the end, he tells him, and listen, now you're asking me, have I reformed? Do I regret? He's saying, he just doesn't give a damn. He said, son, you can write whatever you want on that sheet of paper. I give a damn. Yeah. So, because I know what I did was wrong. That's it, I can't undo it. And then finally gets released, but he has squandered 40 years of his life behind bars for one day, one action. And I really felt that, And the final thing which I wanted to say was, when I shared this link in my group, almost everyone said, oh, people are just standing there. They are not doing anything, cowards. So I asked them, what would you do? So he's saying, I would have run and gone and protected her. And over here, I gave them a very controversial answer, which shocked everyone. I said, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't jump and try to save her. So they were like, what? They were always shocked. And I told them, I know many of you will not respect me for saying this. Like one young man asked me, sir, you always, like you said, like she's like your daughter and you wouldn't jump to protect her. I said, yeah, she's like my daughter, but she's not my daughter. She is not. Because if I were to jump in, let's assume I jump in and I interfere between when he's doing his heinous act, and let's say he turns around and stabs me, or he slashes my face or my eyes or something, and I end up getting hospitalized. Who's going to take care of my wife? Who's going to take care of my kid? Who's going to take care of my hospital bills? Do you think anybody will? And they all kept quiet. And I said, what if I jump in between and the murder takes place, whatever. And then the police comes and says, you're also involved in this murder. You're also involved. You're also guilty. And then along with this young man, they put me for 30 years or 40 years behind bars. Second possibility. Or third one is uh, they decide, oh, you got involved. Now you'll also have to come to court and hire a lawyer and spend $5,000 or $10,000 of your own money to defend yourself. I said, don't you think that's going to impact me and my family? So they all kept quiet. I said, look, in a perfect world, yes, we should all jump in and save this girl's life. But we don't know what is the story. We don't know what is the background. We don't know the context. We don't know who's good. We don't know who's bad. And I even reminded them when I had food poisoning and I was put in the hospital, they charged me just for a few hours for sleeping almost $1,500. And who had to pay? My wife didn't have the money. She was holding the small baby. This was like 5-6 years ago. She was holding the small baby and sitting at the hospital watching me on the bed. Like, I had that seafood poisoning. I would have died. She was just helpless. And she didn't know what to do. I luckily survived. And when I saw those photographs of me lying like a lifeless body, who's going to take care, man? This is not my country. The place where I live, it's not my country. I'm subject to the laws. So if you get involved, well, you are going to get involved then. I hated myself for saying that. I hated myself for thinking that if I could jump in and save, but I still wouldn't. Why? Because I have priorities, I have responsibilities, and there is a price to pay which can go in any direction. So it was really unfortunate. And that is maybe also another reason why I was tossing and turning. Like, we live in a day and age where even if we want to be good human beings, we can't. It's very easy to chat online and put comments, oh, I will stand and take a bullet for my friend, or I will save her no matter what. I'm not a coward. You're talking to a guy who literally came face to face with death, who literally was about to end his life. It's very easy to say a lot of things. When that day comes now, changes a lot of things. For me, what was shocking was watching this video, live video, knowing fully well I was present in the shopping mall at around that time, and it happened. What a sad loss of life. Such a beautiful, talented girl. So unfortunate. I think I wouldn't have forgiven myself if it happened in front of my eyes, because I don't know, man. And then this young man such a promising young man, has squandered his entire life. And now two families, their mothers, their fathers, everyone is impacted. I don't know what to say, man. Life is so short and life is so fleeting. I don't know what to say. My thoughts go to my daughter. That tomorrow she's going to grow up. Tomorrow she'll have maybe a boyfriend or someone, and this could be her, Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys take care.